Hey there, it's Jordan with Status Coup. I am back here in front of the Ford assembly plant in Wayne, Michigan. Day two of the United Auto Workers on strike. Yesterday was pretty busy, I'll tell you. And my back was feeling it when I went down to bed. Yesterday we were here at this picket line outside of the Ford plant. If you don't know, Ford here in Wayne, Michigan, walked out at midnight on Thursday night into Friday. You also have a plant in Toledo, Ohio, Stellantis, that went on strike. And you have a plant with GM in Wentzville, Missouri, who is on strike. This is the first time that the United Auto Workers has gone on strike against all three companies at once. They're calling it a stand-up strike, and they are basically doing it kind of like in a staggered approach where you start with a couple plants, and then if the companies keep delaying, stalling, offering insulting offers, then they will be going out on strike at more plants. Kind of keeps the companies guessing. To be honest, you know, obviously there's a lot of workers who were a little disappointed and wanted it all at once, everywhere, all workers out on strike at the same time. But a lot of workers I've spoken with actually like this approach. They like kind of keeping the companies on the defense, making them kind of stressed. They don't know which plants might go on strike next, which obviously could cause a little chaos. So we're going to talk to more workers today. The new plot, the new nugget of information, unfortunately, is the greedy ghouls at Ford announced that they are going to lay off 600 workers at this plant in retaliation to this plant going on strike. I thought there were labor laws in this country. I suppose not. But they are saying they're going to lay off 600 workers at this plant after making $24 billion in profit last year. So we'll talk to workers. I wanted to start with a state representative, Alabas.
Yes, sir.
Tell folks how long you've been in the state assembly and kind of what's your relationship to UAW before you got in.
Yeah, so I joined the Michigan legislature this past January after winning my election last year. I'm proud to represent the city of Dearborn and Detroit in the legislature. Dearborn is home to Ford's headquarters in Michigan. We're also home to the Rouge plant, where we make the best-selling pickup truck in America, the F-150. My grandfather worked for Stellantis. Unions built the fabric of what my district is embodied in and our values, right? And so today I'm here proud to be with the UAW. I'm proud to have been with them in the night when they walked up the line here in Wayne plant. And I want to talk about your point. Laying off these 600 workers, it is a tactic. It's a ploy. It's a ploy that shifts blame away from the companies to try and shift it onto the unions, when in reality, they just negotiated in good faith with the unions from the beginning. When they got their economic requests, they got them 6 weeks ago, and they didn't start negotiating until the last week before the strike happened. I mean, this is just political theater at its worst, and again, the corporations have been proven that they're okay with people suffering as a result of it, right, to keep their bottom lines as profitable as possible.
What do you think in terms of, it seems that they all kind of got in a meeting, the CEO of GM, Ford, Stellantis, because they're on TV yesterday. They're saying, oh, we've been trying to bargain for weeks. We've been making, quote, generous offers that they've been proposing. But a lot of workers I'm talking to, even the 20% that they're offering might get them back to where they were a decade ago.
Yeah, so that's a great point. People need to understand that, you know, you get they've gotten the 6% raises in the past. But when you have 19% inflation, that 6%, you're still negative. You're still negative 13% on your overall real wages. Right? So people are making less today than they did 10 years ago. And one thing that's very crucial that I want the viewers to understand, I want everybody to understand, is that the workers in 2009, there's always been this famous saying, the auto workers helped bail out the big three. They did that because they gave up COLA. They gave up retiree pension and health care. They gave up these things to make sure that the big three were financially viable to make it through the recession. And now that they have been proven, after a decade of profits, almost $250 billion in profits, they've proven that they're financially viable. They've proven that they're healthy. All these workers are asking for is, give us back what we gave you to make sure you were good. That's all they're asking for, right? And this is also the first time since 1973 people walked off the line at a Ford plant. This is the first time since 1973, so this is historic.
And you've only been in office for what, less than a year?
About less than 8 months.
So not enough time to become corrupted, which is a good thing, because, you know, I don't love politicians, but you seem okay. Talk about obviously it's a fine line in Michigan for the governor and other politicians, because the auto companies are one of the biggest employers in the state. But at the same time, they're stealing from the workers, is how I view it. Can you talk about has there been enough other than politicians showing up now? Do you feel that the Democratic Party has done enough for labor, for the UAW here when the cameras were not here?
Yeah. So I'll say this. This is the first time we've had a Democratic trifecta in Michigan in 40 years. And as a party, we're the first state that has repealed right to work, that has passed it. We've restored a prevailing wage, and we've restored a series of workers' rights in our state, right? Whether that is for our teachers and their ability to collective bargain, or that is for other private sector unions like the UAW. So we are doing a lot more for labor than we have historically. And I'll say this, the Democratic Party has to be the home for labor. And that just doesn't mean we're a home for labor and, corporations. We have to really be clear that we're a home for labor and labor first, right? Because that's the folks who, this negotiation is a good example. When the UAW wins in the negotiation, it means there's more money in your neighbors' pockets and your friends' pockets. That means there's more money coming back to everyday workers. When the corporations win in the negotiation, it just means their P&L grows and their stock buybacks and their dividends get bigger. And to me, I think that's a no-brainer. We want to see people have more real wages, real wage growth. We want to see people have money in their pockets, and we want to see people be able to spend and save, both, not just spend, but save, look forward to their retirement. They can't do that now. You have people working on this plant starting at $21 an hour, $15 an hour in some cases, with no pathway to being full-time employees. That's a problem. That's a problem when you don't have job security. It's a problem when you don't know if you're going to be able to make it to being a full-time employee and have the security of a healthcare plan to look forward to, of a real wages to look forward to, of benefits, right, and profit sharing. You don't get that if you're a temp employee on the line. You don't. In some cases, you have temp employees for 3 years, not knowing if they're going to get a real job offer. Yeah. That's a problem. And so, to your point, though, I've seen my colleagues on the line from the Democratic Party. I've seen the governor put out strong statements. I like to believe the Democratic Party is pro-labor before we are pro-corporation, before we are pro-business. We have to be pro-labor. And there's times when both coincide, but for me, it's always about being pro-labor.
Can you talk about, obviously, I'm not a big fan of Whitmer. She's broken promises to Flint. There's a toxic gas crisis in Kalamazoo that she still has not done anything about. Putting that aside, I will give her credit. Obviously, right to work being repealed is a huge accomplishment. Can you also talk about nationally? We keep hearing Biden's the most pro-labor president. Okay. He made a statement yesterday in support of the union. Would you like to see more from the Democratic Party nationally? They did push NAFTA many moons ago. Yeah. Biden was for TPP, which I think would have been the final nail in the coffin. It's nice to give speeches, but they have not really done anything to push the PRO Act. What needs to happen nationally?
So when you look at, there's two things you look at. Look at union workforce participation and overlay, and there's a chart you can see, online, where you look at union workforce participation and then also the income inequality gap. And you see that as union participation goes down, that gap has skyrocketed. That should be a concern for our party. That really should be. When we talk about how we close the income inequality gap, it's by supporting and helping our unions flourish in this nation. So I would love to see, the PRO Act is a great example of it. I would love to see us pushing more pro-labor agenda, especially as we're looking at, these investments in technology and automation and AI. I'm a believer that technology and AI they are a valuable path forward, but we can do it intentionally to make sure that people who have real jobs aren't crowded out, that they aren't forced out into being either obsolete or forced out into being replaced by AI and then brought back as a temp worker, right? Making pennies on what they used to make, which happens. The bait and switch happens all the time. And as policymakers, we have to be smart enough to understand that. We have to adapt with the times. And to your point, I would love to see, Biden and his administration, I would love to see the president down here. I would love to see him picketing with some of these workers. I would love to see him actually go to Solidarity Hall in Detroit, bring the leaders of the Big Three, bring the leaders of the UAW. And I know he sent his Secretary of Labor down here to do that, but I would love to see him down here and to see the party platform shift more towards being pro-labor, more towards being pro-people.
I don't know if you saw, yes. By the way, smash the like button, share this live stream. Again, this is day 2. We're going to stay out here as long as you fund us. We got about 20 new members yesterday, so thank you to the new members who signed up. We need to get a lot more today. Do you see CNN out here? I do not. Do you see the New York Times? If you see them, are they pushing the corporate propaganda, or are they actually lifting the voices of workers? I think you know the answer. So smash that like button. Super chats are welcome. I'll read them at the end. And please consider signing up, statuscoup.com/join, $5 a month. I don't know if you saw Mary Barra, the GM CEO, yesterday on CNN. I was kind of shocked, actually. She got a tough question. But it was kind of like a robot answer. But she was asked, well, you're making almost $30 million a year, yet your workers, I think it's a 34% increase she's gotten.
Yeah.
So why can't your workers get that? And she gave an answer that I found stunning. She said, well, 92% of my compensation is based on the performance of the company.
I would argue so is theirs, though.
Yeah.
Right? Because the company isn't doing well, and if they're not profitable and they're not growing, these workers won't have a job, and they know that. Again, I'll go back. Look, no more than 10 years ago. Look at 2009, when the company was on its last. Not Ford. Ford was okay. They didn't take the bailout. But when Stellantis and GM needed it, at the time it was Chrysler. When they needed it, and even Ford, these workers gave up a portion of their share of the profits of the pie to make sure they were okay to make it past that 2009 recession, right? So again, I think that's disingenuous. I really do. Look at, when you say 90% of my salary is incentive-based. Of course, everyone's incentive-based. We're all incentive-based, right? So we want these companies. I'm not against them being profitable. I'm against them being selfish and how they don't share their profits.
Well,
right?
actually, I think what she meant, if we want to translate it, the company performance, she's talking about the stock price.
Correct. Yeah.
She's talking about the stock price, and they buy back the stock price to juice up the stock price, which then gives her more money. So it seems like kind of like this Wall Street game that the CEOs are paying, but then they're whining on TV that we won't be competitive if we meet the union demands, we won't be able to invest. Something's not adding up. If they're making $24 billion in profits, she's making $30 million, yet they can't cost of living adjustments, pension.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Again, it is disingenuous, right? And again, when you're the CEO and you have the ability to do stock buybacks, you have the ability to do a lot of these things to raise up the stock price. Again, it's not a question of how your salary is based. It's a question of why aren't you sharing that with these people? Why aren't you sharing with your union members, right? Why aren't you sharing with the people who are adding value to the items not right now just sitting on the assembly line? They're sitting there. Go try and sell them. You can't, because you don't have the skilled workforce there assembling and building a car, building a vehicle, finishing the car, right? You don't have that, right? And I think this is a reminder for a lot of these business executives, these corporate executives, that without skilled labor, without labor that is a workforce that is loyal, this is a loyal workforce, right? They've proven it time and again. They've stepped up. They've answered the call during COVID when they worked through the pandemic. They've answered the call in 2009. They've answered the call, and they're answering the call right now. They're answering a different type of call. They're answering the call of the Americans everywhere who are struggling. They're answering the call of the Americans who identify as members of the middle class, but no longer know where that line starts and ends. Right? They're saying the unions built our middle class, and I'm sorry to say, they have to rebuild it again because of how much this income inequality gap has grown, because of how much now, and the Sean Fain says this, and I kind of agree, there's a billionaire class and there's everybody else, right? And that's the reality. There's a class for folks like that, and there's a class for folks like us who go from paycheck to paycheck, right? Who can't look forward to a modest savings account when they retire because it's not possible in the wages they're being paid, right? And this is that fight to reset that balance.
Also talk about, obviously you're not responsible for Biden or the Democrats, but we keep hearing that the economy is doing much better. But the people I'm talking to out here, I mean, it's like an economic Hunger Games. People are making tough choices between groceries or medicine. Multiple people I talked to already today were working more than one job. Is that a great economy?
So I'll say this. In some ways, the economy has, inflation has cooled down, but we saw skyrocketing inflation, right? And unfortunately, you don't see prices go back. You just see how fast they go up, slow down, right? And so in that regard, the economy is doing better because prices have kind of stabilized, but wages haven't. And that's, I think, the second part to the formula. You got prices to calm down, which is great. You got, the shelf prices stay down. You got gas to come back to normal levels, but nobody can afford it.
I don't know about normal levels. It's like $3.50, $3.60. That's.
I mean, it's $3.50, $3.60, but normal compared to what it was when. Now I remember filling up at $4.50, $4.70. I mean, I'd rather pay $3.50 than that $4. But my whole point is, you see that prices have cooled down a little bit, and they are high. That's not to say they've went down. They've just cooled down how fast they're shooting up, right? You haven't seen wages to match that. That's my biggest concern is wages need to match that energy. The cars have went up 30% in price in the last 3 years, 30%. Wages as a factor of the cost to build these cars has stayed stagnant at 5%, right? So 5% is your labor cost to build a car. You could double everybody's wages right now that works for the UAW like that, double it, and these companies would still be making billions of dollars in profit, right? And that's, I think, the talking point. That's the part we're missing out on. Prices are going up, They've cooled off in some cases. They've tapered in some cases. But what is going into that cost? Is it price gouging, or is it really costing more to make something? And I think in a lot of cases, if you look closely, it's price gouging, right? You're not seeing wages translate to correlate with that 30% cost increase for vehicles. You're seeing it just staying at the P&L, profit and loss statement. You're seeing it go towards stock buybacks. You're seeing it go into, reserve funds, which are important. Don't get me wrong, but again, at some point you gotta share the wealth. 30% costs, 30% cost increase, 40% increase in CEO pay, and these guys are standing over here arguing about the fact that they had 6% pay increase with 19% inflation. Again, they didn't see a pay increase. They're at a loss. They're making less now than they did before.
I got two more. Why does Ford, if it made $24 billion last year, need a $9.2 billion loan from the federal government for electric vehicles? That doesn't make sense. And secondly, would you like to see those, I would say, free money, corporate welfare, revoked if they're going to be retaliating against unionized workers who go on strike? Why should the federal government be giving them billions of dollars if they're a day into a strike saying we're going to lay off 600 workers at this striking plant? That's not protecting the worker.
Yeah, I think, to your point, we're being really aggressive as a nation into shifting the automotive sector into electric vehicles, right? And to me, that's fine if we do that, because you have these other industries that spin off, like your battery plants, like your chip plants that are coming on board. But the problem for me is those two sites aren't union shops, most of the cases, or they're not yet, right? And so when we see these loans, I would love it to be a carrot and a stick. Look, you can take this loan because of an aggressive ask we're having from you as the federal government. Our ask is pay these people reasonably and make your shops union. It's simple as that. Make a union shop where they're making a reasonable, living, decent wage.
Not an ask. The demand is you want this loan, make it a union shop, and here's what you got to pay them.
Yeah. And again, there's been agreements structured like that in the past. At the local level, at the state level, there've been agreements like that. So it's not unheard of to say, look, and as a condition of funding, we're asking you to, have a union, make these union shops, right? Make them, give them an easy onboarding ability to be a part of union, and give them the ability to make a union wage, right? And that's a big component of it. And the second component of it to me is, again, 6% is what they've gotten as a pay increase. 19% is inflation. COLA is the solution for this, but these automotive companies are holding out because again, they understand that real wage growth does not have to match their P&L in order for them to make profits. They don't need that. They don't need to make sure these people are making enough to make sure their profits are growing up, right? And that's the biggest thing that I think hurts a lot of folks here is this reality that they really don't care, right? The UAW stepped up for them in 2009. They're not stepping up for them now, right? And that's I think it's disappointing for a lot of people.
Tell people your name again, where you represent, and appreciate it.
Yeah, my name is Elvas Farhat. I represent the Michigan 3rd District in the legislature. That's made up of Dearborn, Detroit, and Melvindale.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely. So that was the state. Okay. Woo! I might need you also to get me my hat because my forehead's burning. All right, yeah. So smash that like button, share this live stream so we can get this out to more people. We got probably 40 to 50 workers out here, as well as retirees. I do want to interview the retirees. You coming on? Cool. How you doing, Paul?
Good. How are you?
Tell folks how long you've been working at Ford, where, and what do you do?
I've been with Fords for 51 years.
51 years? I thought you were like 40.
Thank you, bro.
45. Holy shit.
So I started out at Sheldon Road in Plymouth, Michigan. Was there for 35 years. Went down to Parts Depot down in Brownstown. And then about 6 years after that, I transferred up here to stamping. And then I went from stamping to Livonia Trans. So, been around a little bit.
So, 51 years, obviously, Ford is a big part of your identity as a person.
Oh, absolutely. 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 It's been a lifestyle, if you will, and it's just like I said, it's part of my life, and being a UAW member for this long, I'm here to support my brothers and sisters, We have a fight that's been needed for a while. And, we haven't had cost of living for almost over 15 years. I mean, it's sad, and now the tier workers, what bothers me about that is if I've got a worker that's working next to me on the line and he's making less than I am and I'm doing the same work he is, how's that a fair system? It's just not, So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at.
You know, you could almost understand like a reasonable, step up the ladder, maybe a couple months, not 8 years. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Back a while back in the 90s, we had a system. Well, actually, before that, let's talk about before that. Before that, it was you would have 90 days. After 90 days, you were a full-fledged union member and employee of Ford Motor Company, and you received the top wages, right, as everybody else. Then they went into a system where they would give increment raises. So every 6 months until the end of the contract, you at the end of the contract you would be at top wage. Okay. Now they just want these tier workers to stand around and not get any benefits at all, low scale wages. You might as well go over to Mexico. I'm sorry, I don't mean to throw that out there, but it's just sad. It's just sad, and seeing it go on such a downturn really is disappointing. Yeah. Disappointing. They give their lives, and I know the company pays them, but they give their lives to Ford Motor Company, GM, Stellantis, Chrysler, that kind of thing. They've given their careers, their lives to the company, and we've different things that we've done to make the company more profitable in the way of quality. I mean, we're that is a big thing with us. We want quality parts going out of our plants. And when the company waves their hands and says, no, just let it go. Oh, no, we're not letting it go. And that's why we can stop a line for quality issues. So between safety and quality, we can stop that line at any time. And that's the beauty of that, You
might want to teach the railroad industry to do that, too.
Something along that line, right? But, yeah, it's just I hope for the best here. I hope both parties come to the table and we get a reasonable contract out of this. I think it's only fair to the members, and that's all we want, So
what do you think? I keep hearing on the radio, drive-in, on TV, Ford talks about this as a family, yet 24 hours in, they're already talking about laying off 600 workers here. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a very nice family member to me.
Yeah. Back in some time ago, back in the it was 80s, late 80s, Clay Ford worked at our plant for 4 years. They took out the front glass of that place, made it bulletproof. I mean, so he was part of our family. He would come down and sit in the union office when I was a bargaining rep, and he'd sit there and we'd talk and go over things. And he was part of the family at that time. I don't know if people have changed the way his direction goes, but there was a time when he was sincere. I don't think the sincerity is there now. Not necessarily him, but the people that run the show.
Mary Barra, GM CEO, she was on the plant floor in Flint. Now she's talking like a robot on TV. Well, my 92% of my pay is attributed to company performance. I mean, do you think it's greed? Is it a disconnect between them? Do they not understand that people are struggling to pay bills?
Right, and that's it. You got food, gas prices, your gas to get to work. I mean, come on, it's escalating at a just crazy out of the ballpark for these people, And then look at the tier workers. I won't even talk about me. Look at the tier workers. How are they affording to come to work, feed their families? They got a lot of them got little kids. So how it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And like I said, I go back to the pay issue and the retirement issue for these tier workers. Why are you paying them less? And you want an 8-year window for them to become full-time or fully waged employees? It just doesn't make sense.
And also, if I'm coming in today and I got to wait 8 years, I also have over my head, I don't know if they're going to close down this plant. They've closed down, 65 or something? So who's going to want to work 8 years when they could close down the plant in 3?
Well, and they could lay you off in that time frame. You don't know where you're going, what's going on. You don't have any certainties. And that's another thing, back in the day when our plant shut down, I transferred out of there in 2006, I think it was. And, you know, they just shut down all the small parts divisions of Ford Motor Company. And it was probably 10 or 12 plants, you know, and we didn't know what to do. I mean, we were kind of like, you know, at the, I don't know, the strong arm of the, you know, the Ford Motor Company, you know. They just decided we're going to take that work elsewhere, you know. So yeah, it's just, that's really all I have for you. It's just, I just wanted to, I'm glad I was able to put this out there and let the members know I'm behind them. So,
how long? I mean, obviously your situation is different than a 25-year-old making $17 an hour, but it seems to me that the real sticking point, maybe they'll do a little better on wages, the company, but they don't want to end the tiers. So you could potentially have a strike going on for weeks, if not months. How long do you think are you and your colleagues kind of willing to go?
Whatever it takes, however long it takes, you know, and we're in this to the end. And you know what? Ford Motor Company, they know what we want, and they all they got to do is come to the table and be reasonable. And that's not reasonable. To keep tiers in play and not give them their full fair share, I'm sorry. I won't stop until that's done. So that's where I'm at.
I might have to come get you later, get the secret to that silver fox hair. I'm losing my hair. I'm only 36. It's terrible. Absolutely. What's your name again? Paul. Thank you, Paul. So that was Paul. He's the second worker I talked to today that's been here for 50 years. So 50 years at Ford. That's unbelievable. So this shows you what solidarity means. Not that, you know, he's rolling in it, but he's doing a lot better than most of the people here because he's been here for 50 years. So his salary's up. He's got a grandfathered pension. So he's got a pension built in. But they're out here for the younger generation. And that is what being a union is about. It's not about, you know, I got mine, so fuck the rest of you. It's about we're all interconnected, and I'm going to fight for somebody, even if I've been here for 50 years and they've been here for 5 months. And I talked to people yesterday. A lot of them talk about how their kids work in the industry, their grandkids are just getting into it. So it really is a kind of an intergenerational thing. Sure you don't want to come on? Come on over. That's all right. It's in my backpack, but that's all right. Thanks. Smash that like button, share this live stream. I don't know how many people are watching, but we got to get it, blow it up. Yesterday, by the way, the rally, I think we had 20,000 views so far. So make sure you share that so we can get it out to even more people. We're now at 152,000 subscribers, so let's keep climbing. And let's keep getting members to sign up. I will shout you out on this live stream if you sign up. Hey, this is day 2. We'd like to stay here as long as we can. I'm going to be here for a couple more days. I'm talking to Lewis about coming to replace me. Farina, we're going to keep in Michigan for the rest of time. So we definitely need more funding to stay out here on the picket lines. Because, you know, first day or two, a lot of energy, a lot of joy. Come 2-3 weeks, that's when the pain sets in. So we wanna stay on this. Support us, StatusCoup.com/join. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Vicki Miller.
Vicki, tell me about how long you've been with Ford, UAW, and tell me kind of what's your main issue, why you felt you had to go on strike.
Well, I want to let you know my heart is here. I was at MAP, and then I moved on to Livonia Transmission Plant. I have 30 years at Ford Motor Company, and as you can see, I have my solidarity dress on because I'm out here with my brothers and sisters doing my part. We need more support for our brothers and sisters here at Locals 900.
900.
Yes, 900. And so it's important that we look out for the younger generation, because it's not a good feeling working next to someone that's making $10 more than they are. And so I feel that being out here making our point valid, letting Ford know that we're here together and we're serious about making a change. And that's important.
What do you think? Ford, you hear a lot, you know, your family, blah, blah, blah. They're already talking about laying off 600 people, saying they have to because the workers went on strike and they're saying, you know, they can't afford it. Well, the CEO affords $21 million for his CEO. I think they did another couple $100 million in stock buybacks. So seems like they're just retaliating as a way to intimidate the workers.
Well, I feel like if it wasn't for the people in the plant working day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, they wouldn't be getting those big salaries. So you know what? We're speaking out to let them know, hey, those big checks you're getting is off the backs of us. So I think it's time to wake up so they can realize, you know, it's not just them. It's all of us together. There's nothing wrong with sharing a slice of pie with the people that make it happen for you. You see? So I hope they're paying attention. I hope that they rectify this right away. But like you said, the first week or two, okay, it's a robust, it's a momentum. But you know what? We need to be here when those weeks go by and get in these trenches. We need corporations. We need businesses. We need individuals to come and just donate goods, whatever. Just do a part. If we all do a part, we got to help. You know, one people just one check away from being, you know, we got rent, house notes, car notes, bills.
I talked to a woman an hour ago. She's a custodian at Ford, and she said she's one check away from eviction. Yeah.
Yes, and you know, and I believe there should be some type of help coming to those who are one check away, where they can. People always think about somebody in poverty or someone. They think of a man on the street holding up a sign with a tin cup, but it's families that work weekly that are one check away, literally, from being evicted or maybe getting their car repossessed. We in this together.
You know, can I ask you, what's really interesting to me, all you hear in the media, the politicians, is the economy's doing better. The economy's strong. Unemployment's low. GDP is good. The stock market. I mean, I don't think other than the people who've been working here for like 40, 50 years, most people I'm talking to are saying we're struggling. We're having to make tough choices between necessities. I talked to a guy with two young kids. I think he was 30. He's working here about 8 hours a day, and then he's going to work at another job 6 hours a day. He barely got time to pee, let alone talk to his kids. And he's got two young kids. How is that a great economy?
I personally think that it's a curtain that is a bunch of lies. Personally, you got to talk to the people. You can't listen to what they say. Get out here and talk to the people one-on-one. They'll tell you what's going on in their house. That's the situation. I can't walk a mile in your shoes until I experience it myself. You can't be in your plush office talking about, well, the economy's good and things are moving right along. No, get out there with the people. Talk to them. See what's going on. And I just personally think that a lot of times when people don't know what your trials and tribulations are, they look through a smoke mirror. They look through a smoke screen. That's what I think.
The president yesterday, you know, he likes to talk about himself. I'm the most pro-labor president. I don't know about that. I think that's a bunch of baloney. But he did say, record profits mean record contracts. So he seems to be at least verbally supporting the union. Would you like to see more from Biden, the Democrats? Because it's one thing to say you're pro-labor. It's another thing to be on the picket lines, push legislation that makes it easier to unionize. I don't see a lot of that coming from the Democratic Party.
Yeah, you know, like I say, they need to get on their airplanes and come on down here, show up with the media, talk to the people. They need to show their faces. Come on down here on Michigan Avenue. Walk with the people, talk with them, break bread with them. It's important. And if you can't make it, you send your representatives. They need to come and support us, the UAW, and let us know that we support you when it comes time for voting. Yep. So when you're going to come down here and talk to the people, all it takes is one trip.
There seems to be a mixed reaction from people I talk to when UAW President Fain announced that they'd only be starting with 3 plants. A lot of people were disappointed. They wanted all plants all at once. But people I talked to yesterday A lot of people think it's kind of a great strategy. It keeps the companies guessing. What do you think? Would you like to see all the plants at once on strike, or do you think this approach of, we're starting with 3 by Monday? Who knows? You could have more plants. What do you think?
I'm glad you asked that question. I feel like this. I think there's a strategy in play. If you shut everything down, that's kind of aggressive. He's doing a strategy move with doing one plant. Like I said, I really thought Livonia transmission plant was going to be the first to go out here and strike, but you don't know what's up to come. And like I said, maybe he's going to shut them down one by one to let them know he means real business. And give them a chance to come back and say, okay, we see where you're going with this. Maybe we need to have some talks and making some change. So I believe he got a strategy, but only time is going to tell.
And last question, tell me, your body, every person I talk to, they're saying their neck hurts, their back hurts, they got rotator cuff problems from working. How, after all these years for you, I'm sure you go home with some aches and bruises.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got that hard concrete floor, you got the actual ambient temperature in the plant. I mean, they work hard. I've seen my brothers and sisters on the line consistently working with minimum breaks, get back to the grind. Goal is to get out production, put out good parts. They doing their part. It's time, and you know it.
What's your name again?
Vicki Miller.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Stay blessed.
So another great worker. Oh, awesome. Got my hat so my wife doesn't yell at me. It's cloudy, but the sun's coming through. How you doing, family?
All right, yourself.
Jordan, nice to meet you. Come on over. Hey there.
My wife Ariel, my son Aiden.
Hey there. Tell me how long you've been at Ford, and what for you was the main reason this strike had to happen.
Started from my name, Michael Johnson, and I've been over here just over 2.5 years. And I just roll with the punches. I just support the strike. I'm just looking for better pay so I can provide my family better and just be able to live a better life. Don't have to live paycheck to paycheck.
You got 2 kids.
Yes.
It's got to be stressful if you're have to wait 8 years to get the top pay. They're not giving pensions. Obviously, costs are going up for everything: childcare, food. Talk about the stress of you just kind of barely making it by.
Well, this is my first strike. This is my first day out here, so I really can't elaborate too much on it. So I just roll with the punches, and hopefully they come up with something soon so we can get back to making money how we used to. Like back in the day, people used to be proud if you was in Ford. But now you say Ford, it's like, who cares? Because it's a competition with fast food restaurants, and we shouldn't be there. We do too much to be on the same level as fast food restaurants, just point blank period.
Does he come home with a lot of pain, working all day?
A lot, and it's a lot of wear and tear on their bodies. It's just for pretty much the bare minimum, it's unacceptable. And everybody else, all the big wigs are living cushy, living good, and we living paycheck to paycheck. It's unacceptable.
The CEO goes on TV, he's making $21 million. And he's saying we're a family, and but if we meet their demands, they'd all make $300,000 a year. Exactly. I don't know where he got his math from.
If we're family, help out your family. Help out your family. If it's really what they're saying it is, why not? Why not? Everybody is worth it. They work hard. They show up. They come here every day with good attitudes and get the job done. You're sitting at home watching your bank account get bigger. Why not?
Talk to me about before you came to Ford. Obviously, there's a lot of it's got a reputation for you could climb up the ladder. There's a great American auto company, yada yada. Tell me, from what you thought it was to what you realized it was, that's got to be quite different.
Honestly, when I first heard about Ford, and I really didn't hear too much about Ford until I met her. Now, I wanted to get in Ford when I got straight out of college, but I also thought, out of high school, but I also thought about, what if I don't make it that far to what I want to do. And the auto industry came after that. But once I got with her, and most of her family is in the auto industry, I'm like, okay, that sounds like something I would want to do. When I first heard it, it was like, okay, you're making this amount of money. You don't have to struggle. You can pay for this. You can pay for this. You can pay for this. And there's no issues that you can basically do what you want. But now that I'm in here, it's nothing compared to what I've seen or what I've heard. So if anything, if we can go back to where we can support our families with no issues, be able to do anything without thinking about a bill or the next time we get paid, it'll be great. Just have it to where we can live comfortably. If you can live comfortably, we should be able to live comfortably. Not saying we got to live as comfortable after CEO, but comfortable to where we don't have to worry about if our next bill going to be paid because we only getting paid a certain amount.
Right. We're living paycheck to paycheck, and pretty much most of the plant is living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. How does that make sense? How do they not feel bad about that? You know? And today is our anniversary, and we're out here doing this.
Yeah.
There's nothing more romantic, huh? Tell me about, obviously, you had COVID, inflation, young kids. I mean, at a certain point, it's got to be mentally pretty tough.
Absolutely. It's draining. And really, we're just trying to create generational wealth. Our children should be able to build and live good, just like our grandfathers did, you know, because my grandfather retired from Ford, and he lived good. And now look, you know, his bloodline is there and we're struggling. You know, it doesn't make sense, you know.
What do you think in terms of, you see all these politicians showing up now, they're giving speeches, they take their photo, they say, you know, stand with UAW. Are they doing enough when the cameras aren't here? Obviously Biden, the senators, the Congress people, because I see a lot of talking, but I don't see a lot of them calling out the companies aggressively. I don't see legislation being pushed to, I mean, Ford is already talking about laying off 600 people here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the politicians?
This is how I feel. If you're not out here with us, I feel you shouldn't have too much to say. You can say all you want, but your actions speak louder than words. If you're saying, oh, we're for the people, oh, we're for this, or we're for that, we should see you. I'm not saying you have to be out here the whole time. Come out here, show us support, hold a sign for a few minutes, take your pictures, go on to the next. But if you're just standing in your office or at your podium, oh, we're for the people, but you're not showing us that you're for us, you shouldn't be saying it.
Stand with us, literally. Come out here and stand with us. We have our children out here. He's 5, he's 12. Stand out here with us.
Do you like this approach? Obviously, a lot of workers wanted all the plants to go out on strike at once, but right now it's only 3 plants. Do you like that they're doing it kind of small with the threat of more?
I love it. Chess, not checkers. I love it. I love it.
Chess, not checkers.
Yeah. You don't let them know your next move. Surprise them. You hit them with a surprise, they'll be even more surprised because they weren't expecting it. You hit them with something unexpected, then they got to come better than what they came with.
What do you think of the media? Well, every time I turn on CNN or these other outlets, all I hear about, oh, this is going to hurt the economy, and they have a lot of guests on who say, well, these workers, it's a little unrealistic, these demands. I don't know. Why is it so realistic for the company to make $24 billion last year? Do you think the media is covering this accurately?
I'm going to say I do believe there is some type of bias. All I'm going to say is do your own research. Check the numbers. It's all there. It's all there.
No comment.
Last question. The way things are going now, he's 12. Would you want him working at Ford in 4 or 5 years, the way things are going now?
Absolutely not. Not the way it is right now. Absolutely not. And guess what? If they treated us better, all of us will make sure or will want our bloodlines to work here. Why would we want our children to come here when he feels like he's slighted? When we feel like we're slighted?
What's your name?
Ariel Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
What's your name?
Nicholas.
Thanks, Nicholas. All right. Let's see how many people are watching. Get this moving here. Yeah. All right, we got 800 people watching. Smash that like button, share this live stream. Let's get this out to more people. The more people that press the like button, the more people that will see this. I will read the super chats at the end. Please, please, I can tell you because I'm here, aside from an Al Jazeera reporter and a local reporter that showed up for about 5 seconds, I am the only outlet out here and definitely the only independent outlet out here. So please, please support us if you can. StatusCoup.com/join. Become a member for as low as $5 a month. StatusCoup.com/join. Let me see if we got any signups so I could give you a shout out. Welcome new member Rhonda just signed up. Thank you, Rhonda. Welcome Corey just signed up. Welcome Kyle signed up. Joe signed up. Christine signed up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new members so far since we've been live. Let's get that number up. Let me tell you something. If you want the truth out there about this strike and this strike to continue for as long as it takes, we're going to need actual on-the-ground reporting, and we'd like to cover this as long as possible. Hey, you want to talk? Come on over. Don't be shy. Go Spartans. How they doing so far?
They don't play yet.
Okay. My bad. What's your name?
Vicky?
How long have you been with Ford?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. So you're kind of in that lane, a newbie. So for you, how long would it take to get to the top rate?
As of now, I think it's 8 years. I think it's still going to be 8 years or 7 years right now.
Can you kind of talk about just, psychologically, that's got to be tough if you're next to people doing the same exact thing, but you might be making, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks less?
Yeah, no. I mean, mind you, there's people who put their time in. They put their, 25, 30 years in. We shouldn't start out full time at full pay, but definitely there's got to be a earlier progression for sure. 4 years. I mean, I don't think length of a contract is too much to ask to have you at top pay. It's the length of the contract.
Yeah. What do you think of these companies? They seem to be creating this tale that we're not going to be able to be competitive if we give the workers what they're asking for. We won't be able to invest. Obviously, they're making big salaries, the CEO.
So you want us to take concessions? Does Jim Farley want to take maybe just $22 million a year instead of 23? Is that fair?
Not to mention the stock options.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think we're asking for a lot. I think they gave up a lot in the past contract that I wasn't involved in. We just want it back. We want a fair, livable wage.
Right. And the company announced yesterday that they're going to lay off 600 workers at this plant. Seems to be retaliation against the strike. What are your thoughts? Because they say this is a family, yet they're already talking about laying off employees.
Well, I really don't know how to respond to that because I don't know what the circumstances is. A layoff? Are they just not striking them, but because if they're laid off, then they should be able to collect unemployment. Is that an issue or is it not an issue? They're saying no, we're not hearing the same thing, so I'm not really sure on that.
What do you think of the plan so far? Obviously, this UAW leadership has been a lot more aggressive in the past. They kind of just said, take what you can get, fight another day. But Sean Fain has been, demanding a lot more than recent presidents. And do you like this approach of starting with only a few plants?
I'm nervous about it. I guess we'll see how it plays out. I think he maybe knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? I think that everyone seems to be pretty behind the decision that he made. So, let's hopefully it works out in our favor.
How are you doing as far as obviously gas, groceries, housing? They say inflation's better, but
I prepared for this 6 months ago when we had our profit sharing. I knew it was a potential thing to come up. I didn't think we would be the only one from our company at first to start out, but I'll be okay for a minute. I'll be, to hang on to do the fight.
How long are you prepared to strike for?
As long as it takes. I'm not going to cross the line.
What's your name again?
Vicky.
Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate it. Absolutely. I wanted to, I saw a retiree a while ago. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find him.
Yeah. I'd love. Okay. Smash that like button. Share this live stream. We got young kids here too. I would say there's about, on this side, maybe 25, 30. And on the other side, which we'll go to in a bit, oh yeah, and there's more people down the street too. So definitely have, I'd say, at least 100 workers out all across this block. Obviously, there's the plant in Toledo that they're on strike right now. You also have the plant in Wentzville, Missouri. And I did hear before I went live that, I don't have a day, but there definitely might be other plants going on strike sooner than later. Yesterday, you had the bargaining unit and Sean Fain. They were not negotiating. They were not at the bargaining table to hold the rally, etc. Today, they are back at the negotiating table. The wages seem to be, there's a big gap between what the union's asking for and the companies are willing to give. The union has come down a little bit. They're now asking about 36% wage increases. The companies are at 20%. I think if the companies went up towards 26, 27%, I think that ultimately the union might take that on wages if they were above 25% increase. However, the wages are not the only issue. Obviously, you have this two-tier system, which every worker I talk to, that's one of the top things. That is the reason workers are striking. You also have the lack of pensions. I mean, one of the great reasons people wanted to work for these car companies, 2-3 decades ago, was to secure a pension and, retirement security. But the companies took it away after the financial crash, promised to give it back, by the way, and of course did not give it back. So let me get some water. We'll get some other workers. Perfect. So, smash the like button, share this live stream, get it out to more people. John's trying to get some more people to talk. Forwarding you emails from UAW workers. Anybody?
I think one guy's going to come over.
All right. Talk for a minute. I'll try to get people.
All right, guys, how is everyone doing? It's great being out here. I think we have somebody coming over now. Jordan is going around trying to get people. Hey.
Just wanted to see if you were some
Socialist like me.
Status Coup.
Yeah, Status Coup. You can find us on YouTube.
Okay, I'll figure you out.
All right.
But not, all right, I'll see what flavor or whatever.
Okay. He's here supporting. He's not an auto worker. All right, let's go to the chat. If anybody's got any questions or they want to talk about anything. Yeah, so there are people outside of all the entrances to the warehouse here. Then you got a couple people across the street at the UAW Local 900 building. I don't know if you can hear the horns honking, people driving by. So much support for the striking workers here. How's everyone doing here? Let's see, Colin, if we have any, I don't know if Jordan read the super chats or any of the comments, any questions. If you want to send that over to me, I'll read them out. Yeah, Fetterman was here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still around, but he was here at the UAW Local 900 building. Anybody?
Nope. Across the street.
All right. Yeah.
So
back to the mic.
Sometimes a lot of people want to talk. Sometimes people tell you to get lost. So we're going to cross the street, see if we can get some more folks across the street to talk to us. Smash that like button.
I think Colin sent an email if you want to do the live readouts.
Oh, all right. I'll read out some some folks. Samantha donated $5. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you for coming to Detroit and supporting us at UAW. You can support this reporting by donating also. That's statuscoup.com/donate. We got a lot of nice donations yesterday. Thank you. Alan donated $10. Thank you. We got new members: Christine, Joe, Kyle, Rhonda. We got a YouTube member, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Super Chat, Lynette, $10. Thank you, Lynette. Really appreciate it. Come on over. Hey there. What's your name?
I've been watching you on TV. I seen you.
Oh,
Mike.
Mike, tell me how long you've been at Ford.
23 years. I'm at Livonia Transmission Plant. I came here to support all the Michigan workers.
And I keep talking to people, 23 years, 25 years. I talked to two people who worked here for 50 years. Right. And a lot of people seem to be focused on the younger generation, too. Right.
Well, it's divide and conquer if they don't. You know, you got to, we all have to come together, because if not, we're going to be all separate the rest of the time we're here until we retire. That ain't good for us. It's not good for the UAW. We want, what we're asking for is what you took from us. I'm not asking for what you took from us and the Lincoln Navigator. I just want what you took from us. Because that's what you took from us in 07 when you guys cried that you needed money and everything else, and we unprecedentedly opened up the contract books. You know what I'm saying? So we just want what you took from us. We're not greedy people.
Tell people who don't know, what kind of concessions did you make back during the financial crash?
Raises, pensions went away, two-tier system came in, time and a half after 8 hours went away, our Christmas bonuses went away. We lost a lot, man, and everything that did for us was that it just made us smaller and smaller and smaller of a union, and now we have a resurgence. You know what I'm saying? And it's good for us, it's good for the people, and if we all come together as one, not even UAW, but working class, come out here and support the UAW. This is you guys, you know what I'm saying? This is everybody. We set the pay scale. The UAW sets the pay scale. We always have. It's like set the pay scale so everybody can come up, so we can all can flourish. Stop having the 1% having everything and we just have nothing, you know? It's just like, come on, man. So we're just asking for our fair share. It's like, just give us back what you took from us. You know what I'm saying? We're not asking for whatever they think these numbers are. $300,000 in a 40-hour work week, like they were saying if they gave us an $8 raise? That's crazy. And it's like, I think numbers are just being a little fuzzy right now.
Yeah, I was wondering where Jim Farley went to school for math. He's saying, the CEO of Ford went on TV saying that if they gave into the demands, every worker would make $300,000 a year.
I was shocked on that, and it's like, man, if we did make that money, it would change everybody. But no, it ain't like that. It's a lot of people in there that are working 7 days a week, including me, 12 hours a day, that ain't got time to see my wife, that's always complaining that I don't see her, and it's stuff like that, dude, you know? So it's like, we just want to get back what they took from us.
You know, there's another thing. It seems to me it's not only that they took from you 10 years ago, they also lied to you. Because didn't they say, hey, once we're back in the red and we're doing better, we'll give it back to you?
It never happened. Like I said, we ain't even got our Christmas bonus anymore. That never happened. But they still give them bonuses. You know what I'm saying? They still give them bonuses. I seen Mary Bear on TV, and the other day doing an interview with CNN. You guys watch that because they got her. She looked shaken because the woman just kept asking her, what's your opinion on them saying that it's okay for you to get $30 million, but the workers, and then she's looked saying the response, and, you know, I'm glad it was like that. I'm glad they got her like that.
Yeah. She seems to think that she gave some weird formula that 92% of her pay comes from the company's performance, but the company's performance is not coming from her, it's coming from you, so there you go.
So, I mean, we'll see how it goes down. I'm hopefully all the support and everything here that we have, that we can get it going together, and we can do a smooth transition, get back to work, and build the cars and trucks for everybody in America and still be the prosperous company that we are.
Talk about UAW, because part of this is also for the first time ever, you had like democratically elected for the president. It wasn't just that like a convention and a bunch of people make a decision. It was every member got to vote, and this new leader seems to be demanding a lot more.
I love Sean. I'm glad Sean's here. I'm glad he's for us. I mean, I think just like the man. Like I said, 23 years is the best thing I've ever seen that we had. You know what I'm saying? You see the resurgence of everybody downtown yesterday, the resurgence of everything. It wasn't like that before. You know, it's now that we're painting a picture in America of greed, and you're seeing the picture and seeing clearly. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. It's like I said. Thanks for having me.
What's your name again?
Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Absolutely. So a lot of these workers, I'd say most of the workers I've spoken with have been here for upwards of 20 years. I've spoken with some workers that are newer, a couple years, but most of the workers have been here 20 years, 30 years. Two I spoke with today, 50 years. So, hey, at a certain point, you could only take it so long as far as being beaten down economically before you've had enough. Right now, it's only day 2, so this is early days. We'll see how people feel if they're on strike for a month, 2 months. That's a whole different dynamic. But for now, everyone I talk to, it seems like they're in this for the long haul. But things could change very quickly in a strike. I mean, things might have changed since I've been live, and I just don't know. Things can change in terms of other plants going on strike. Things could change in terms of if the companies are having trouble hiring scabs, replacement workers, which part of this strategy to only start at 3 plants actually puts the companies on the defense, because if at a moment's notice another plant walks out, it's not going to be easy for them to line up enough scabs at those plants. So most people I've talked to, at least, are liking this strategy, or at least that's what they've told me, of only going on strike at 3 plants. I know a lot of people initially, after Fain announced it, wanted all the plants to go on strike at once. But you also have to think about the economic reality. The strike fund of the UAW is $825 million. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. But if every plant goes on strike at once for 3 companies, you're going to bleed through that money, I think I read, in 3 months. So they're kind of trying to preserve it as best they can. Let me take a drink of water, then we'll cross the street. Who am I shouting out? Oh, right. I got to shout out, if you're watching, Pitbull from Livonia. Livonia? Transmission. He's a big supporter of Status Coup. Yesterday, by the way, I got to tell you, I try to leave my ego at the door, believe it or not. But it did feel good. We had a lot of UAW workers coming up to us, thanking me for our coverage, because there is such a void in all media, not just corporate media, but independent media as well. There is such a void in covering this truthfully. And we've been covering this for weeks. There's a couple outlets we could give shout outs to. Labor Notes, they're out here. More Perfect Union has covered this and other strikes well. You have Real News. Max Alvarez has covered labor really, really well. Apologies if I'm forgetting anybody. But other than that, I mean, there's not a lot of outlets that do this aggressively, call out the corporate media propaganda, call out the corporations in the United Corporations of America. And we've been covering unions, union organizing, strikes, tenants unions, mutual aid for years. Remember, we were out in 2021 from the John Deere strikes in Iowa and Illinois. We were in Staten Island for a year. I went to the Staten Island plant, warehouse, at least 7 or 8 times before they won. We were in Buffalo covering the Starbucks union drive, that historic first unionized Starbucks in Buffalo. We were there before they won. We've covered nurses' strikes in Buffalo, Jersey, 1 or 2 other places. So we're not just out here, we're not out here trying to be billionaires. That's not going to happen. We're out here to try and get the truth out and give the microphone back to the people, if that makes sense. Hold on a second. My pipes do not work like they used to, so talking for a few hours live, it could make you thirsty. Let me read some comments, some super chats before we cross the street here. We are live right now to almost 800 people. So smash that smash that like button if you can, so we can get it out to more people. Thank you so much. We just got a new YouTube member. Todd signed up as a YouTube member. Thank you so much for the super chat. Self-taught artist. $49.99. Status Coup members support the UAW strikes. That is correct. Let me see if I got an email from Collins so I could read any super chats that I missed. By the way, we passed 152,000 subscribers yesterday, so let's keep going. Let's see if we can get a couple more thousand while we're out here. Samantha donated $5. Thank you. Alan, $10. Website members, Christine, Joe, Kyle, Rhonda. I think I read that already. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, God, I got the prostate of a 90-year-old. I already got to pee. Okay, I got those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 new members through the website. I think we got a couple YouTube members. Oh, we got some emails, too, from UAW workers that I want to read real quick before we cross. Tomorrow we'll most likely be in Toledo, covering the picket lines from there. So I got an email from John. I have every one of my paychecks forward from 1992. I can show you what losing cost of living has cost us. If you're still in Michigan, contact me. Thank you, John. Gabriel, hello, everyone. It was a pleasure to meet you at the UAW rally. Oh, that's my man, Gabriel. Thanks for all that you do. Keep up the good work. Here's my number. I won't read that live. Seth, I'm a current member of Local 276 in good standing at the GM Arlington Assembly plant with 10 years of service. If you want the details of what's actually going on, please feel free to reach out because the verbiage being used is somewhat inconsistent. My wife and I are both GM employees and enjoy your YouTube channel. I'm watching the live stream now. And homeboy, I just gave you $100. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Seth. That's very generous of you. Larry, I'd like to have a conversation with you and talk over the deal we got and how our deal is pretty much what Auto is asking for. A simple analysis of this will be the best way to explain to the public what's happening here. All right, Larry, I'll try to do that. I think we got some more here. Mark donated $3. Good luck, guys. I hope other industry strikes, too. YouTube member Todd signed up. Thank you, Todd. Super Chat, $5 from... I can't pronounce that. Zlant. UAW Local 2164 Kentucky. No compromise, we strike. No compromise. Self-taught, $49.99. Status Coup members support the UAW strikes. Thank you, thank you. Reminder, we could only cover these strikes as long as you fund us to do it. So if you're watching right now, we got almost 800 people watching. Think about what is it that you spend $5 on perhaps a week. Maybe you spend $5 or $10 a week on coffee. Maybe you spend $5 or $10 a week on, I don't know. Name your food or drink item. All we're asking is for $5 to $10 a month. $5 to $10 a month. You could sign up at $5 a month. You could sign up at $10 a month. We have $20 a month options. We got $179 annually. As far as I know, we are one of the few independent, keyword independent outlets on the ground. Not just from here, but from a lot of strikes we've covered. But we don't take any money from the big banks, from the fossil fuckers, from big pharma, from big real estate, from Silicon Valley, from the military-industrial complex. None of our funding comes from them. Our funding comes from you. So please consider signing up, statuscoup.com/join. Become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Across the street, try to see if we can get some other workers across the street. Hold on. So they are honking in solidarity. We're crossing right now to the UAW Local 900 building. You got people, less people over here, but hopefully some folks that want to talk. Trying to get as many workers' voices out there as possible. CNN did interview a couple workers yesterday. I wasn't overly impressed, but they did interview a couple workers yesterday. There was a lot of coverage yesterday. I do expect that to decrease because we do know in the corporate media they only like to cover things for about 24 hours before they move on, including mass shootings, including communities being poisoned, etc., etc. All right, of course. Hey there.
Hey, buddy.
We're live. Can I interview you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chicago. I'm here visiting my friends here from Chicago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Jordan.
Hold on, Jordan.
Oh, that's
How
okay.
you doing, buddy?
Good. Tell me your name.
I'm Charles Rogers.
And you're from Chicago.
Chicago. Shout
So
out.
tell me about how long have you worked for Ford in Chicago?
12 years. 12 years. And we're here to support them. Here's some more people.
So everybody's here from Chi-Town? Holy cow. That is solidarity.
Yeah.
So tell me about all these CEOs are going on TV whining about they're not going to be able to stay competitive if they give in to your demands. They say they're not going to be able to invest. Meanwhile, the CEO of Ford's making $21 million. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts is, hey, we got to get some of that money, too. You remember Cuba Gooding Jr. in that movie he played with the football player? Mm-hmm. Show us the money. Just show us the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. You know why? Because we the ones that's doing all this labor work, but they benefiting off our labor. That don't make sense. So we here to support Wayne County, man, over here. We over here to do what we do. We stick together. Solidarity means we can live from one place.
We all in this together.
What do you think of Ford already? It's only been about 24, 48 hours. They're already talking about laying off 600 people at this plant, saying that because they're on strike, we're going to have to start laying people off. Doesn't seem like...
That was the plan. To hit them where it hurts so they would have to lay the rest of us off and still pay us. Comes out of their pocket, not ours. That was.
You don't mind it?
Lay us all off. Don't hold back. Lay us all off. So you guys can get it together and share the wealth with us. We're in here breaking our bags. I've been ran over by 2 cars. I've been to the emergency room twice. For what? To get $16.75 an hour? Come on. I go to McDonald's and make more.
In Chicago, $16.75 an hour is not going to get you so far.
It doesn't get you nothing. Living paycheck to paycheck, asking people to help us. Like, come on, we work for Ford. Like, this is a shame. They should be ashamed for us to have to say this on national and on anything, anywhere. That's a shame. We represent you. You represent us. We make these cars. We come here every day. We break our backs. I was just saying in the car ride up here from Chicago that they make us work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and we don't have time for our family. And then when we get our check and it's only $1,100, what the? $1,100? I done broke my back, and I am not getting nothing. Here you are living the high life, traveling the world, buying second homes, and we're down here struggling. No, that's not right. Not right.
Do you feel like in a way that they're stealing your labor?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Yes, they're giving us pennies while they're making millions. No.
Don't make sense, man. And that's why we out here to support them out here in Michigan. Took us 4.5 hours. We ain't care if it took us 6 hours. We come here to help these people because guess what? We next. And guess what? Michigan going to come down there with us. So we got to stand up, man.
When they ask us to stand up, we're going to stand up with pride. We stand
up.
Pride.
Yeah.
551.
Let me ask you, Chicago's a Democratic town, you know, Democratic mayor. Biden came out yesterday. At least he said words that he supports the union. I haven't seen a lot of action, though, from the Democratic Party. Huh?
Biden came where?
No, he didn't come, but he made a statement yesterday saying he supports the union. But do you think that's enough? If they support the union, shouldn't they be...
Action. Like they took all this money from the government to trans over to the new electric cars, and we haven't seen any of it. We haven't gotten a raise. We gave up our pension, and when they were struggling, We gave up a lot of our benefits to help them so they wouldn't go under. All we want is what belongs to us. We want our stuff back. And we should be able to feed our family. We shouldn't have to go to a pantry or apply for government assistance because we can't afford to pay our rent because of the layoffs, because you're only making $16.75 or $16.77 an hour. It's ridiculous.
Now we got to go on food stamps.
You're working at Ford and then have to go on food stamps.
Go on food stamps. That's what they want us to do. We ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it.
The money that they're paying us. It's ridiculous.
Pay your rent, can't do nothing.
You're having trouble paying your rent?
Yeah, I'm always having trouble paying the rent and wondering if we're going to have enough money to pay our rent, food, our bills. We're struggling, and it's me and her, and we don't have nothing, We're struggling every day. So it's ridiculous.
Ford, I keep hearing the CEO say we're a family.
No, they treat us like garbage there. We work hard. We break our, like I said, we break our backs. I've never been to the hospital so much in my entire life. Really? Working there, hurting my arm, falling in there, everything. They don't care.
And you don't even have a pension when you're done.
No, we don't. And I just started there in 2019, so this is a big thing for us.
And when we start back, I'm going on medical leave. Because I got 4 corns on all 4 of my toes. That's bothering me right now. I got 6 bunions on this one and 12 bunions on that one. All because of Ford. So that's all I got to say.
So Ford caused you bunions?
Yeah, Ford afforded my bunions. So that's all I got to say. Hey!
There you go.
Hey, what channel you with?
Status Coup.
What is
We're
that?
live right now on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, we got 800 people watching.
I have been watching you on YouTube, so I've been following you.
My wife never believes me that people come up saying good things. But yesterday, all the UAW workers were coming up because we've been covering this for weeks.
Yeah. I was watching him yesterday. He had like an hour and a half.
And I'm like, I've been to Chicago like 10 times. You want me to come back? Yeah. Chicago, absolutely. How about
Pay for the gas. Okay. Yeah, but just don't look for me, though. Don't look for me, though.
How's the new mayor doing in Chicago?
Well, I'll be with him September 30th. We got a rally going on. It's a hope rally. Matter of fact, y'all should come out there and film over there and cover it. It's a recovery rally. Well, I run like 6 recovery homes for people getting their life back together and getting off drugs and alcohol. So what we're doing is we're having a big rally for them. It's going to be live entertainment, comedy, the whole 9 yards, and we're going to be giving away prizes and money to the kids for back to school. So, yeah, it's called Hope, helping our people every day. So, yeah, and I'm the MC. So,
MC, if you're in Chicago, definitely go. Let me ask you, a lot of workers I've spoken to want this to spread to other industries. They want workers to start fighting back a little bit. We've seen Amazon workers, Starbucks workers. Are you hoping that, the contract...
Yes, we hope this is the start of a movement because inflation is so high that it takes 2 or 3 people to break their backs at jobs that are paying them nothing to just keep afloat. Like, that's crazy. Yes, this should be start of a movement. Everyone needs to stand up and fight back because corporate greed is out of control.
They're watching themselves. Also, I keep hearing from the media and politicians that the economy is doing better, that it's low unemployment, that the economy is rebounding. Well, everyone I'm talking to is saying that they're barely struggling to get by.
Who's rebounding? We're in a recession. This is worse than the recession from the Great Depression. This is crazy. I don't understand how these people are making billions of dollars in months and we're barely making anything. There's no way I should have to decide if my daughter's going to get school supplies or am I going to pay the light bill or the gas bill. That's ridiculous. And I work for Ford. That's a shame. It's a shame. Shame on you, Ford. Shame on you.
Can I ask, does it make sense to anyone that Ford, who made $24 billion last year, got a $9.2 billion loan from the government for electric vehicles? I'm all for electric vehicles, but why are they getting free money from the government still?
No comment, because I'm still waiting on them to pay me.
Your thoughts?
I don't know about these electric vehicles. Okay. Nobody wants to buy them, so I don't even know why we're trying to make this transfer. People don't want to buy them. They sit in the lots and...
Is it that people don't want to buy them, or because they're more expensive, they can't buy them?
They are expensive, and then it's also, if the battery goes out, then it costs you like another 10 grand, 20 grand to get a new battery in that thing. So people don't want to buy them. Those things are blowing up all the time too, so it's like, why make the transfer? And that's what they're complaining about. We want to make this transfer. Well, what about us? We work hard every day. I never miss a day of work. Always there. I've got FMLA and all that stuff because of my knee, and it's ridiculous. I just don't.
So outside of work, do you get to really have time to enjoy things, or you kind of just laying?
I work nights. I work B crew, so I get off at 4:30 in the morning and come home. I sleep. I'm right back up, and I'm right back at work again. So I'm there all the time, and on weekends it's like I really don't have time to do nothing. Like I told you, like rush around, and here comes Monday, and I gotta rest up and then go back to work Tuesday.
And also, you hear from the people, all right, then get a new job. Well, there's not a lot of other good union jobs out there to go get.
Right.
We invested.
Right.
No, all I want to do is take care of my kids, work, and prepare for my retirement. And I want them to be fair. We give you good cars, you treat us good. Treat us like family, if we family, right?
551, all the way from Chicago. My God. We stand together, we live together, we be together. We fall, all of us fall. We got to get this thing together right, man. My God, come on. The nation, we need you guys.
We don't want to strike.
We do not want to strike.
We want to strike, but we will.
But we want what's fair. What's fair for us is what's fair for you guys. Come on now. You got to eat. We all got to eat. Everybody got to eat. It's a chain. Come on now. It's a chain. That's all I got.
While we're at it, can we get rid of all these corrupt politicians in Chicago?
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Say it again.
Can we get rid of these corrupt politicians in Chicago? That's the most corrupt city I've been to.
Again.
Can we get rid of these corrupt?
You already said enough. Already right there. 551. Woo! Hard and strong. My God.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Get over here.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you very much.
Oh. 551, baby.
Chicago. One of my Chicago, my favorite city in America. Okay.
To talk to some of these because they're actually from here.
Okay.
These are the ones. I got it. Thanks.
Keep smashing that like button, share this live stream. This is why we're out here. Every single person, almost every single person we're watching or talking to have been watching us because we're one of the few doing this consistently and actually letting them talk and getting their voices out. It's so, so important. This is part of why you have a 40 fucking year bank robbery where all of these people's money is being stolen by the CEOs, by the shareholders, because you have a media that just covers it all up. You have a media that has normalized wage theft, that has normalized institutional greed, that has normalized basically just exploiting workers and squeezing every last ounce of juice out of the orange. And it's not normal. This is not how people should live in the wealthiest country on earth. So keep smashing that like button. Share this live stream. Before I go talk to more people. Oh, wow. Humorous with a $400 super chat. Holy mackerel. Humorous. As always, you are very, very, very appreciated. 858 people watching on YouTube and only 100 likes. That's sad, folks. That's lack of caring about yourselves and others. This channel needs your help. They speak the truth. They don't get help from corporate media or corporate America. Without us, they fail. And then we fail because we no longer know what's going on. It's important. Humorous, thank you very much. I know you're not rolling in it, so that is a very, very generous donation. Yeah, we're live.
We're live. Oh my God, how you doing?
Tell people, for you, what's the core reason you wanted to go on strike?
I don't want to go on strike, but I will. But we deserve what everybody else deserves. If we're coming in and we're selling our bodies, not our souls, our bodies hurt. We make good money, but my God, come on now. We haven't had a raise in what, 13? I don't know how many years, but it's been a long time.
13.
I didn't forget. My brain is fogged like right now. I didn't forget. But we need it. We sold our bodies. My arms is hurting. I done had surgeries, all kind of stuff to make these cars for us to drive. Look around you. You're driving what we make. Might have a recall, but guess what? It's taking you where you need to go. Go to the shop, get it fixed. Man-made. That's all I can say. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on, America. We need you guys. Help us. Help you. Now, on that note, what's your name?
Jordan.
Go on, Jordan. Take it over, baby.
Well, I thank you. I can't say it any better. And I think what's been great about this so far is I said this before we came, but this is really much, it's a lot bigger than just the auto industry. I mean, this is everybody. What they're going through is everybody. I mean, look, UPS didn't have to go on strike, but same kind of stuff. Their bodies breaking. You got people dying in cars that have no air conditioning because they're driving all over, delivering mail with 150-degree heat in the back of these trucks. People are dying on the job. There's been people that have died on the job at these auto companies. And by the way, you know, these politicians that showed up yesterday for the rally, politicians tweeting out, you know, hashtag UAW, that's nice. A lot of them, when the cameras aren't there or the company's not on strike, are not doing jack shit to support these unions. So we know who you are. Haley Stevens, Congresswoman. Debbie Dingell, sometimes. All right, let's talk to more people. This is UAW Local 900. Can I talk to some folks? I'm from Status Coup. We've been covering this for a few weeks. Don't be shy.
Jordan,
hey there.
This lady should be the Rosie of yesterday.
No.
This is the Rosie of today. This lady, what's her name? What's his name? John. Psst, get me right now. Hey, John.
My name's John, too.
John, this lady right here is the lady of Rosie. Do your thing. No. Do it.
Yeah.
And she is the Rosie of today.
The Rosie
of yesterday was gone, and this is the Rosie of today. 551. Give it to him right now. Give it to him. Give it to them right now. Did you wear this for Did you wear this to represent?
I was represent.
Excuse me. Did you wear this to represent
Yes,
551?
I did.
All right. Let me. Can you see?
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow. Do you do that during break in Chicago?
I do it at work. I do it all day. I try to do it to get people involved and coming to the meetings and learning what's going on with our strike. I do.
And in Chicago, what's the morale at your plant?
I don't even know what to say about. I don't know. I don't really like to speak.
Thank you very much. Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you?
Yeah, you can.
How long you been with Ford?
11 years. I used to work for Chrysler.
Okay. So tell me about a lot of the focus here is the fact that you got workers 8 years to get top rate.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Seems like they've kind of created a divide between workers.
It's bad. So, you know, we got even other plants, they start at 16 and max out at 20. So, yep. The tier, it's more than 2 tiers. You know, you got in progression, you got temporary, you got seniority full-time. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. So.
Seems like they've created this kind of convoluted system, basically to divide workers, but also to just pay as little as possible and keep the profits up.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, it's a transition to electric vehicles, and they're going to ship them down south where they're non-union. You know, if they're reducing the workforce, and they're going to pay lower wages down there, and we need a good pay for our families.
It's been tough for you.
Yep.
Because you must be struggling right now with bills.
Yep.
Make the bed.
Anyways, yep. But it's division.
Tell me about, it seems to me the company keeps going on TV, the CEO keeps going on TV saying we can't compete if we raise the wages to what you want.
That's baloney. That's bullshit, in my opinion. So our workers, we produce great quality, good products, and everything else. We can't even afford the products. Yep. So, anyways, if they look at if you do the math, it would take like $4 billion to give us the raise, but they're willing to risk it for $5 billion to lay people off and strike. It's corporate greed.
And I was told by some workers that have worked here for 50 years, back in the day, the Ford family, you know, there was more of a family.
Yeah.
But now it seems they're willing to kind of elbow their family.
Well, get this one. They just had 2 new family members, if you've seen it, and they just promoted them, you know, and stuff. And, you know, Farley, he's pushing electric vehicles. They're sitting there. We're losing billions. They just lost $4.5 billion in electric vehicles instead of building hybrids and doing a transition. So our hard work is paying for them to lose our jobs to electric vehicles.
And when they make the electric vehicle plants, they're trying to do it backdoor.
Correct.
Without
And
unionizing.
on top of that, they're doing basically with other companies, so it's not even ours. You know what I mean? It's basically, and the thing about it is they're non-union, they're lower wages, they're not the benefits and everything else. So if they're shutting our plant to build these vehicles, we want to have the opportunity to transition to those with the same wages. And, you know, right now it's just the have and have-nots.
Right. And, you know, just like mentally, that's got to be tough if you're working.
Oh, it is.
You're busting your ass, breaking your back, and you're working on these cars, but you can't buy one.
No, I agree. And, you know, the thing about it is we just want a decent living. You know, middle class.
What do you think about, you see all these politicians showing up now, supporting. I don't see them showing up when the cameras aren't there.
Hey, I agree, but it's election time because, and I love Bernie Sanders, but the thing about it was he wasn't willing to pay his workers when they're asking for $15 an hour. So now he wants to come say stuff for us, you know. So the thing about it is, yeah, I agree. You know, it's good that they support us, but, you know, you got to continually do it. You know, now they're saying Biden's sending his people, you know, to try and intervene. Well, he messed them up before, you know, with the airline pilots and other ones, with the railroad people.
Shut it down.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, by him sending in, our president, don't get involved. You know what I mean? Let us do it and let the workers, you know, basically fight for what we need. No one's going to be there for us.
And the media seems more focused. They keep asking Sean Fain, how come you haven't endorsed Biden?
Well, and that's a good thing, but he's reserving it because Biden's pushing electric vehicles, which is killing our jobs. Ford just got $9.2 billion for electric vehicles. They did. You know, they gave them that from the government. Not, you know, so they're saying they're going to go bankrupt. There ain't no way. They took out another $4 billion loan. They got $35 billion in cash. But they don't want to give us a decent pay and bring up the tiers. Get rid of it.
I think one of them, I don't know if it was Ford or Stellantis, just did another $500 million buyback.
Well, it's $5 billion. They did a stock buyback. Yeah, it's crazy. So they get stock options, and then they give themselves buying their own stock back. That's crazy.
When are we just going to call this theft? They're stealing. They're stealing your labor and your wages.
Well, that's basically what they are. It is a theft. I mean, it's stealing a theft. You know, they put Stellantis on 90 days straight working before this strike. They're trying to build up vehicles for this strike. 90 days straight. Nope. You know, it's hot conditions, hard working conditions. We spend more time at the work than we do our families.
Tell me about it, because obviously you're emotional about this. What's your message to other people? Because this is bigger than just the auto industry.
Oh, it's bigger. It's bigger. Blue Cross and Blue Shield, 22 years to get up to full rate. 22 years. I voted down the last contract because it took 8 years. Why should it take 8 years longer than a contract to get up to full rate? You know, it's crazy. And they keep doing it. And of course we had corruption, you know, in the past administration, so that's why we voted Fain in. But the thing about it is the workers are fed up. And it's not just us. You know, teachers, you know, police officers. You know, the middle class is just hurting.
What do you think about they announced yesterday that they're going to lay off 600 people from this plant? What do you?
Yeah, that's the corporations trying to push back at our strike, right? So that's all it is. And if you talk to, you know, look at Fain, they don't believe the media, because the thing about it is there's a lot of bad news coming out that it's with the corporations. So just unless it's from the union, don't believe it. You know what I mean? And that's what our members are told, you know, because you hear all this, like they lowered it to 36, they lowered it to 30, you know, we're giving in these concessions and stuff. And that's from the media, you know, but don't buy it, you know, unless it comes to Fain, until there's a tentative agreement that we vote on and we can see what it is. Because a lot of times we just get the highlights. You know, even last contract, they could remove stuff in the benefits, you know, the medical, you know, your prescriptions, and we don't see that because we just get the highlights to vote on. You know, the contract is hundreds and thousands of pages, so, you know, the book is so thick, but we just get the highlights, you know, and then, you know, yeah, you did health and safety, but the economic conditions are the problem. You know, electric vehicle transition, this is the most important contract in our history, because in Ford alone, 2025 is when the Blue Oval down in Tennessee is going to open up, okay? And that's the biggest plant. And they're going to need 6,000 employees down there. Well, are those going to be non-union? Are they going to be $16 an hour jobs? Yeah, and that's what these are doing. In fact, over in Canada, that's where our electric vehicle's going. It's in Canada. You know, we don't even have a product for our facility.
Last question. To me, you basically have this tale of two countries. The government keeps saying the economy is doing better. The media says the economy is doing better. All you got to do is come out here for 5 minutes. People. It's like an economic Hunger Games out here. Can you tell people, if it's politicians, if it's the media, corporations, is the economy doing better?
It's all of them. It's all of them. They're all in it together. Because if you look, the price of barrel of gas won't go up, but yet the price of gas goes up. That's the refineries, right? So that's corporate. They were going to even investigate them, right? The Senate and them, because of their profits. Right now, they've increased the prices of cars 30-40%, but our wages haven't gone up that much. So they're saying they're going to raise prices or go bankrupt because of us. They're already doing it. They're wasting all their billions of dollars that we earn hard working every day for the electric vehicles. They should have been transitioning to hybrids. Okay? How can you have a company that's losing $60,000 on a vehicle? How you go bankrupt? You know, that's their decision. We don't have control over that. You know, we're just trying to pay our bills. Food, gas.
What's your name?
John Tavanna.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Absolutely. So there you go. A lot is at stake. A lot is at stake in these strikes, and people are getting emotional. He was tearing up because just imagine, I mean, the Amazon worker knows, a lot of these workers know, I mean, you're not sitting at a desk in air conditioning, doing kind of consulting work. You are moving your arms all day and your back and your shoulder, and it's grueling. So imagine doing that all day and basically being treated like robots and being exploited and stole your money, your wages, your futures are being stolen by greedy companies and greedy CEOs and greedy shareholders that don't particularly care if you starve. They don't care how many jobs you have to work. They don't really care if you're facing eviction. and they'll get rid of you if they can. That's not exactly, to me, a healthy democracy, which I don't think we really have a democracy. I think we have an oligarchy. Let me read a couple more. We got a $100 super chat. Wonderful. Let me see. Wow, almost 1,000 people watching right now. Got a $100 super chat from Mary. Not only are we underpaid, but our jobs are continually threatened to move across the border or overseas. That's correct. Also, my plant has serious safety issues. Anytime it rains, our plant floods. Fix our roof, Jefferson North Assembly. That's a great point. And you had Jim Cramer on CNBC, who says he was a union guy many moons ago. He's saying he doesn't like Shawn Fain. He compared him to Trotsky. He said, hey, if they want to go on strike, shut down the plants and send them to Mexico. That's what Jim Cramer on CNBC said. Let me read a couple more. $20 donation from Jason. Thanks for covering the Real Talk, Windsor, Canada. We should say, at the moment, the contract in Canada, I believe, ends, September 16th? I think the contract in Canada, Unifor, which is the auto union in Canada for 18,000 workers, I think the contract ends in 3 days, if I remember. I actually reached out to them because possibly we were going to cross the bridge into Canada if there's a Canadian auto strike. As far as I know, they have not reached an agreement in Canada either. So 3 days from now, you might see a strike in Canada. So hello in Windsor. Isa Trubel just signed up as a YouTube member. Welcome, Isa. Jacob, $4.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much. 2020-09 at work, listening live. Well, thank you, Jason. Disciplero, 99 cents. Thank you. Anthony, $4.99. Humorous, the amazing $400 super chat. Thank you so much, Humorous. As always, it makes a big difference, your help. Mary, I just read, $100. Aisha, $5. Trader Joe's, Walmart, and Whole Foods Market are all owned by billionaires. We all need to stop buying from businesses that don't pay their workers. Did I just hear a general strike? Is that what I heard? I'm with you. I've been saying we need to be doing local economic boycotts for a long time. Humorous, another $10. Americans would rather build a dystopian society instead of a utopian one because they worship money. Unfortunately, that enslaves 99% of us. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let me see. I got a couple messages here. All right. Let's talk to some more people. Sure you don't want to talk?
I can't talk. I got to watch the road.
Okay. You got to watch the road? That's fine. That's cool. Understand. Any of them? Are? Cool. Keep smashing the like button. Keep sharing. We'll do another one or two. I'm going to Flint after this for a project I cannot disclose. So we will. We're on YouTube. We're live right now. I can get it. Ooh.
I'd like to watch it later.
We are live right now. About 950 people watching. So say hello.
Hello. That's all I can tell you. Hello. Supporter.
How long you been it for?
29 years.
29 years. Long overdue, this strike.
Yes, sir. Long overdue for everything.
And real quick, what's your main issue? Is it the wages? Is it the cost of living?
The cost of living, I'd like to see the cost of living come back. I'd like them to eliminate the tiers. Yes, definitely that.
And what do you say to a CEO that is making $21 million who went on TV basically saying you're a family?
Shame on you. Thank you.
Shame on you. There we go. And also, we should also state, most of these CEOs, Mary Barra of General Motors, Jim Farley, they generally stick around and only go on CNBC because they're only going to get softball interviews. CNBC loves them. CNBC, cherishes the corporate greed. But she did go on CNN, and credit where credit is due. You don't really get to credit CNN often. She was challenged. CNN asked Mary Barra, if your pay has gone up 34%, why shouldn't the workers' pay go up a decent amount? And she answered like a robot. Well, 92% of my pay is based on the performance of the company and blah, 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 blah. And then she was challenged again. She had no answer. Hey there.
Hey, Jordan.
What's your name?
Clint.
Hey, Clint. Tell me how long you've been at Ford for.
I've been at Ford for a little over 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in April.
So you're one of these workers that's really affected by this two-tier system.
Absolutely.
It's going to take you a couple more years to get up to top rate.
Absolutely, yes. Right now, without actually divulging my rate, I know that my son makes about the same amount of money that I make, check per check. I'm not talking about health insurance or anything like that, but just bring home pay. We're like, I'm 51, he's 19, and we can compare checks when it comes down to that. And this is my retirement job. I left the restaurant service industry to come here, and it's supposed to change my life, and it really hasn't in that regard of where I'm living a better financial life.
And there's a lot of exploitation in the restaurant industry, and then you come over here thinking it's going to be better.
Exactly. I guess I could say the best benefit right now is the health insurance. That's the best benefit, in the retirement plan of some sense, because in the restaurant field, there is none of that. So coming here, it does put me in a better situation looking at my future ahead. But at the same time, when it comes down to paying my bills and living day to day, week to week, it's rough. It's rough. I had to get rid of a car that, I had a Durango. I had to get rid of that because I couldn't afford gas. I had to buy a smaller vehicle just so I can afford gas to get back and forth. And now I got an Uber so I can put more money in my pockets just so I can survive because of this. It's just not good. It's just not good.
You're working full-time here, and then you have to go drive around Uber
a
couple hours a day?
Absolutely. And it's because I got a car payment now. So in order for me to have a quality of life, take care of my kids, my grandkids, and if I want to have something that's nice, where I feel confident as a hard-working American, I got to take on a second job.
And also, it's not easy if you're breaking your back all day to then have to drive around
right.
other people.
I'm already trying to stretch my back out and do different things to get traction and loosen up my back, and then I got to sit in the car for hours, because at the same time I don't want to have to be on another schedule at another employer, because I'm locked in here to 8 to 10 hours and I got to go get scheduled by another employer. So doing some driving gives me the flexibility to be free, but look what I have to do to my vehicle. Look what I have to do to my body.
Does not leave a lot of time for kids and grandkids.
Not at all. Not at all. Not when you really want to be that father, that grandparent, and show the world that you care about your life and your family. It's just not. Right now it's tough. And that's why I'm proud to be a part of this. I'm proud to be a part of this historic, monumental event, fighting for, all the things we're fighting for. I mean, everything that we're saying on TV and everything that they're not saying. But at the same time, it's just like, how do we make it better?
Yeah. And, something that really stands out to me, it's thought of for GM Stellantis is like, these are kind of the American dream kind of jobs.
Absolutely.
And all I hear about is nightmare after nightmare. So there seems to be a gap between the reputation of these jobs and what they actually are providing.
So I grew up in this area. I mean, literally just a few miles down the road. And growing up out here, it was the mindset of you either, go to college and do it big that way, or you go work at Ford. And that's going to change your life. I mean, those are like the two things that, as a young male coming up in the area, those are like your best options. Work at Ford's. If you're not, if you're one of the lucky ones, you'll go to college and do something big with your life. But if not, you're gonna either come work here or do everything you can to not come work here. And I was one of the ones that tried to do everything not to come work here by trying to go into management, do all these other things, but I hit a ceiling. And like you said, the American dream kicks in where you're like, you know what? Oh, Ford is calling me, giving me an opportunity. Oh, I got to take care. I got to jump on that and skip everything else. And then when you get there, it's just like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know it was going to be this difficult.
You know what? Bottom line, I failed math, but the numbers don't add up. I don't know how they made $24 billion in profit last year.
Yes.
I think they made $20 billion already this year, I read.
I'm in debt this year. How about that? I'm in debt. There's no other way I can put it. This, you know, I don't have any savings, and my credit cards are maxed out, and I'm living day to day. Because when I get my check, it's already 3/4 of the way spent. So when I got a little bit of money, I gotta divvy that up. You know, $20 on Tuesday, $30. You know, if I don't spend anything on Wednesday, I can double up on Thursday. You know what I mean? And that's not fair. Who can live like that? Who can say this is the way? What's the famous saying everyone says? I'm living a dream. I'm living a dream. Oh, really? Then don't wake up. Because I know this ain't what Mama told us when we was growing up. You can be anything you want to be when you grow up. And now I'm struggling just to make ends meet, just to put gas in my car to go see family. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's hard. Like I thought I was really turning my life around, and
you said you had to give up the car that you liked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the car I got now, but it was going into it. The decision that I had to make was all financial,
right?
And the finances just don't add up, like you said. So,
talk to me. Do you like this new approach by the UAW? They started out with these 3 plants. They're threatening more plants. Some people wanted all plants all at once, but obviously this UAW leadership's being way more aggressive than previous years.
You know, I appreciate the different tactic. You know, you want to shake it up. If you're going to shake it all the way up. Turn it upside down. Flip it. Turn it around so that way no one knows your strategy. I mean, if it's a game and it's like sports, you can show the same thing and put players in different positions and do different things, and catch your opponent off guard. Right. So I understand that, and why do it traditionally? Because the traditional ways have got us nowhere, but to be broke.
And my last question: what's your message for other people? Because I think this is bigger than just the auto industry. Everyone is hurting, and a lot of workers aren't unionized.
Yes.
A lot of workers, if they do try to unionize, there's nonstop union busting and not a lot of laws to protect them. Would you like to see this strike kind of start to have an effect on other industries?
You know, I would like to say that if today's strike paves the way for other industries to be unionized, so that way some of the workers don't get taken advantage of and misused in the field, because a lot of that does happen. So do I feel that this is a good starting point for the American people or just the world in general when it comes down to doing some of these things? Absolutely, yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
What's your name again?
Clint.
Thanks, Clint.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. 1,000 people watching. Thank you. Aldo signed up as a member. Rhonda signed up as a member. Corey, Kyle, Joe, Christine. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new Status Coup members to our website. I saw a few YouTube members signing up. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you real simply. I'll take off the glasses. I'll take off the hat. I'll look into the camera directly. I need you to sign up today as a Status Coup member, a paying member for $5 to $10 a month. That's 16 cents a day or 33 cents a day. And I'll tell you why. Real simple. There's two ways of doing this. You do this by selling out. You do this by taking money from big corporations who then tell you what you can and cannot say, who then tell you what stories you can and cannot cover, who then tell you where you can and cannot go to cover. Or you do this independently the hard way, without that money. And you look in your couch for quarters and you scrounge to get enough money for these trips. Between me and a cameraman for just a week or so out on the road, that's $3,000 to $5,000. You're talking flights, hotel, a rent-a-car, food. It costs money to be on the ground, not to mention equipment. The live view that we use to be live, that costs us $25,000. This is the top of the line live view. And at first we had the bottom of the barrel live view because we couldn't afford the better one. And we're building up brick by brick by brick without any corporate money. We don't have money from big Democratic Party or Republican Party donors. In the beginning of this 5 years ago, we got a $50,000 investment in the beginning from a viewer. He invested $50,000 and it was spent basically in 2 days, mostly on equipment and at the time bringing in a cameraman. So other than that, it's been small dollar members, $5 to $10 a month, GoFundMe here and there, and doing this through you. But I can't do it myself because I don't have a money tree. So for those of you who cannot do it financially, you cannot support us, that $5 or $10 a month, that's totally okay. I understand. You know, watch, share, like. But for those of you that do have the $5 to $10 a month extra, or you could maybe take the $5 or $10 you're spending elsewhere that you might not need and switch it to us. StatusCoup.com/join. Our plan is to be here, as long as we can. I'm going to be here for as long as I can, and then I'm talking to Lewis, my colleague, who's been covering East Palestine, that disaster. He's been covering it for months. He's been there 4 times in 7 months. He's going to come replace me, but it costs money. So please support us. As a member, you also get perks, including our members call once a month. That's StatusCoup.com/join to be on our members call. You get behind-the-scenes content, which we'll be shooting here just for members, and a couple other things. So thank you for watching. We'll be back on the picket lines tomorrow. I'm thinking from Toledo, Ohio, where they're striking too at the Stellantis plant. So we'll be over in Ohio most likely tomorrow. And from there, who the hell knows? We also have other content we're going to be posting. But please spread these streams, share these streams to your friends, to your families. This is much bigger than just the auto industry. This is about everybody. This is about 40 years of a grand bank robbery, which is capitalism. This is about these people's wages, their future, their labor is being stolen by a bunch of robber barons and aristocrats, pretending that they're all family. And that's why we're out here. I don't pretend to be neutral. I stand with the workers. I will present the facts. I won't lie. But I stand with the workers, and I think the media should not be neutral to theft. I don't think the media should be neutral to greed. I don't think that the media should be neutral when corporations who have been given, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars from the federal government in free money, these corporations, or money that they paid back, but not completely. I don't think you should be neutral when these companies are literally, they don't care if their workers get evicted. They don't care if their workers can pay their bills. They don't care if their workers can feed their children. That's not a healthy society to live in. New member, Nancy, just signed up. Humorous, another $20. Colin makes this show absolutely possible. Jordan, this is for you, not to use for your on-the-ground reporting. It's to buy Colin a good bottle of whatever he wants to drink. Colin's a tequila man. I don't know what good tequila. Well, you gave us $400, so that could buy some pretty good tequila. We'll take care of Colin. John is doing God's work behind the camera. I think I've interviewed everybody, actually, so far. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure you're signed up. Make sure you sign up to our Substack. If you're not yet signed up to our Substack, you could sign up for free there. We send out emails when we're about to go live. That's StatusCoup.com. What is it? StatusCoup.substack.com. Follow us on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it is, at Status Coup. And once again, I beg of you, sign up as a member, StatusCoup.com/join. We'll see you back here tomorrow.